This is Biker Dad, brought to you by Biker Justice USA and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
Have you ever sat at your job and thought, what if I just got up and left? Tell that horrible boss to take this job and shove it. Have you ever wanted to just walk out? What about burnout? Well, that's exactly what I did, but I didn't just quit. I left my 25-year corporate career to ride motorcycles and tell your story.
Daytona Beach, Florida, where you can actually drive onto the beach. Rick Fairless, a legend of his own, introduced me to Richard Rollins. Mayfield, Kentucky. Southeast Missouri. Beautiful city of Knoxville, Tennessee. Gulf Coast of Mississippi. The Florida coast and the Tampa Bay area. Orange County Choppers, Roadhouse and Museum. Talking to Paul Tuttle Sr. himself.
But make no mistake, this is not a show about motorcycles or even about me. Instead, I travel across the country to meet the people who use their passion for motorcycles to make their communities stronger, safer, and better. This is Biker Dad.
Hi, my name is Chris Best, and I left my 25-year corporate career to ride motorcycles and tell stories. And this week, that adventure brings me, well, back home to Alabama, Mobile, Alabama to be specific, and how one national motorcycle brand and a bunch of guys on sport bikes and girls are rolling out for a great cause. That's where we start this episode of the Biker Dad Show, so let's roll. We're on the road in Mobile, Alabama, and if you watch the show very often, the bikes you usually see around me are Harleys, but we are rolling out for a good cause. We're doing a little bit differently this time. We're on what us Harley guys usually call crotch rockets, but believe it or not, the guys and girls who ride these things are just the same as the rest of us. Everybody likes to be on two wheels, and again, as we normally do on the show, we're on two wheels for a good cause, and we're teaming up with Cycle Gear across the nation to help kids with cancer.
I'm Shireen. I'm here at the Cycle Gear Bike Meet. I'm here for a good cause for the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation.
I'm Evan. I'm the assistant manager here at Cycle Gear Mobile, and we're having a bike meet and a charity drive. We're doing it for the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. And 10% of all proceeds are going out today for that. And we hope everybody has fun out here. And we appreciate everybody coming out. We try to do bike night, once a month, but this time we decided to do it for a charity event. And we have a lot of fun out here every bike night, and we hope that everything goes just like it normally does out here.
I'm Rick Hard. I run Gulf Coast Bike Life, so I started the page about a month ago, although I'm from Northwest Indiana, so the whole bike life down here is a whole different ball game for me. There's not a lot of it, so I wish there was a bigger scene here, but we're trying to build that out right now. So cool. Trying to make it more integrated, get more bikes out. I run a Taco Tuesday ride every Tuesday, so trying to get as many people included in that as possible.
Gulf Coast Bike Life, we met at the Taco Bell and we rode out to the Malbus Starbucks. Great photo, great ride. Then we got here.
Made a couple posts. I've been riding with a couple people regularly, but we took a really comfortable route, nothing too aggressive, just nice, easy riding. Rode in from Gulf Shores, Alabama, and met in Foley with everybody else, and then rode in the rest of the way.
Yeah, Cycle Gear across the country. Everybody in the country. This is straight out of corporate. So 10% of everything from every store.
You're always needing more gear. So the fact that you can get gear and part of the sales will benefit a charity, that's a win-win.
No, sir. Every event's not for the same charity. Typically, we just do bike nights for just for the community. But occasionally, we add in the charity and do it during the Sunday. Try and get more folks out here.
I like doing fundraisers. Anything that I can do to help benefit the community or benefit people in need, I'm all about that.
Typically, we get a a lot more sport bikes, but a ton of Metro Cruisers come by sometimes. You know, it just really depends on the day. And a lot of times we'll have the mini bike mafia out here, which is a whole bunch of Groms and Navis and all that. And they all show up and take up the whole second parking lot. So that's what we're hoping for.
I think the age bracket when it comes to sport bikes, there are a lot more older people when it comes to Harley Davidsons or cruisers, and you get a lot more younger people. So maybe the event's not as aimed towards them, but with people like Cycle Gear, they hit the sport bike community and they're really able to reach everybody at their own age bracket and get people invested in the benefits in the community. I like the agility, I like that they're lightweight, I like that I can back it out of a parking spot on an incline. But don't get me wrong, I love Harley Davidsons, I love a good cruiser, so I'm all about all of them.
Oh yeah, man, it feels awesome. We typically have a little bit more, so I feel like everybody's on the way. So normally we've got both parking lots completely full. Right now we got one about full. So
Yeah.
All Tigers are here, they set up their tent.
Foley, Alabama is about how far from here?
It's about an hour and 15.
And why'd you stop at Starbucks?
To meet up with Bike Dad.
Cool.
And Bike Mom, wherever she is.
She's finding a helmet.
Oh man, I sure appreciate you doing this interview, and I hope that everybody sees it, you know, decides to come on out. 10% of everything across all stores. I mean, just for reference, we're not exactly a big store, and we do over 1 million a year, so that tells you, you know, just by that. And it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
If you guys want to get on the page, look me up on Facebook. You can find me at facebook.com/DJ Richard L. Or you can get on Gulf Coast Bike Life and find us there.
On the road in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I ran into some guys who'd come there from a very long way to ride the American West, all the way from Scotland.
So with Royal Marines Association and with the Riders branch, and we're riding with our president. It's nothing like the US Marine Brotherhood, although we've got affiliations with the US Marine Brotherhood and the Dutch Marines as well. Hence the reason why we wear the Dutch and the American cap badges. Formed in June 2016, so we're a fairly new branch of the Royal Marines Association. And that's all it is. You have to be a Royal Marine Commando, and you've got to have a love for motorbikes. And that's it. And it's a comradeship that we bring together.
Having a good time, basically. We're travelling around from all around. We started in Los Angeles, out to here, and then we're going right the way round back to Los Angeles.
So y'all rented a bunch of Harley Davidsons?
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't like Harley Davidson.
Yamaha Tenere 1200 Dual Sport.
So these guys are all riding Harleys and you're riding a Yamaha?
Yeah.
You came to America to
I've
Gatlinburg
owned
country.
3 Harleys already, and I know what they're like. So I'm on a Yamaha. Over 5,000 miles we flew, and then we've ridden here and we got snowed on. So happy days. Vegas, baby. I'm from near London, probably 20 minutes north of London. So the brief was we're going to ride in the desert, bring shorts with you and some summer gear, and it's the first time in 12 years because the roads have been pretty good. It's a bit strange though having to sort of stick to some places 55 mile an hour where we're used to doing 70, 80, maybe 90 mile an hour. On the continent, especially Germany, whatever your bike will do. So on a
Got no speed limit in Germany.
on a
You can do what
ZX,
you want.
yeah, on a ZX12 or a GTR, you're doing 140, 150 mile an hour.
Why did you guys pick a trip to the United States?
Just to come and see US Marine colleagues that we worked with before in Iraq, Afghanistan, and over the years.
Like, you guys don't have these giant weird casinos in Alabama?
Not this big, no. No. There's a couple of big casinos. You've got nothing like this. What you've got here in this space is about 5 times the amount we've got in the whole of the UK. You're Dutch Marine, British Marine, and American Marine. You're all brothers, and we all get together and we have a good time. We've just spent 2 days in Tamalaka, is that how you pronounce it? Or whatever you pronounce it, with the United States Marine Brotherhood of Riders. We had a fantastic time with them, and that's the way it is. they want to come over to UK, we'll show them the same hospitality as they showed us this year.
On the road in Vegas, baby. What's more Vegas than neon? Maybe Elvis Presley, but here we still have the neon. We don't have Elvis. Let's go check out the neon Boneyard here in Las Vegas.
Right over here. Why did they put neither of those at the top of the sign? That is because 1905 there is an homage to the year that Las Vegas was born as a city. To give you the kind of long and short of it, we're born as a railroad stop in between Salt Lake City, Utah and Los Angeles, California. We're a place to get a snack, get some sleep, get some water before you take care of business in a money-making town elsewhere, right? You can't eat, sleep, or mingle amongst anybody else. Normally that was a tricky proposition. You had to go find your way amongst the city. That's why the Moulin Rouge is such a cool spot, because now you got a safe place to go and a cool place to camp out, like I said. If that Lady Luck sign looks maybe a little bit familiar, some of you guys might have seen a very famous Las Vegas film called Vegas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase. One of the characters in that film dances on top of the Lady Luck sign. Lo and behold, ta-da! This is the sign featured in the film. That is probably why it looks like it was stomped and danced all over, because it was stomped and danced all over at one point in its history. So that's a pretty nifty fact, right? This is one of 4 Tim Burton signs, handcrafted by the master himself. Highly recommend taking a photo with it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. His hands were, slobbering all over this thing. It's pretty cool. Tim Burton number 2 and Tim Burton number 3. Going to be opposite the giant guitar. We're going to talk about them in about 15 minutes. And then at the very end of the tour, once I'm saying my goodbyes to you guys and getting emotional and somebody hands me the tissues, I'll be wiping away the tears and I'll tell you guys about the 4th sign. It is top secret. Mr. Burton specifically asked me to only tell my coolest groups about it. And I don't mean to brag, but you guys seem pretty cool. So I'll tell you in about 16 and a half minutes. Sound good? Here up north, a little patch of federally owned unmarked desert known colloquially as the Nevada Proving Grounds. At one point we conducted 3 to 4 atomic detonations above ground every single month for a decade straight. Rather than maybe doing the responsible thing and telling tourists, hey, for a little bit, maybe don't come to Las Vegas, we're radioactive. We did the opposite. We said, hey, immediately come to Las Vegas, we're radioactive, right? It was a curious thing that we did, but you can appreciate those atomic bomb explosions. At the top floor of the Stardust, you could rent out feasibly a suite or space with drinks and music and your friends and stuff like that before you could crack open a bottle of champagne. Boom, there's a mushroom cloud dotting the horizon, giving you a suntan in the process and covering it in dust. I am exaggerating, but it is a very exaggeratable thing that we did. Alright guys, follow me in the story. We're going to start wrapping up the tour. You guys see those seahorses, flying saucers, and those big brainy Martian boys from Mars Attacks. That makes that Burton number 3, and as you remember, Burton number 4 is what I'll tell you about before I say my goodbyes. It's in the gift shop over there. You can see it in a little corner tucked away. We call the sign Guns and Booze. I give you guys one last hint as to what that sign includes. It includes both guns and it includes booze. I have a good feeling we'll be able to do this. Our powers of deduction have been strong tonight.
Hi there, this is Chris Best, the Biker Dad. I'm just here to let you know that myself and the hundreds of thousands of people who follow us on social media and watch the TV show are here to help. Do you need help with something? Give me a call. That's my number right there, 251-402-6392. Especially if you need legal help, I have an army of lawyers across the country who can help you with injuries after motorcycle crashes especially, but other stuff like crime and everything else too. So give me a call, 251-402-6392.
I'd like to introduce you to my new friends at All Octane Camping, a new way to enjoy motorcycle rallies, mudding events, Jeep events, and a whole lot more. At the camps, they have large, spacious tents, big beds, a fire pit, a huge inflatable party house with air conditioning, hot tub, a whole lot more. The information about All Octane Camping, including their upcoming events at alloctanecamping.com. Hope to see you on the road there at some of their events. Again, alloctanecamping.com. Thousands of innocent bikers are injured and even killed on our streets and highways in the United States every year. And far too often, we don't get the justice we deserve, even if we did absolutely nothing wrong. So how do you find the help you need? People who are ready to go to the mat and get justice for you? Just go to bikerjusticeusa.com to find a list of lawyers across the United States who are trusted by me, Biker Dad.
Biker Dad is brought to you in part by the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Why do I trust NAML? Because they work relentlessly to make our roads safer for everyone. They bring awareness to the motorcycle community all across the USA. They fight for justice for bikers too. If you're an attorney who's interested in joining the fight and the cause, go to naml.org for more information.
Now here's the Biker Dad Bike of the Week. Bike of the Week. Bike of the Week. Bike of the Week.
We're here at Mobile Bay Harley Davidson, where not too long ago we were just over there in the corner checking out the 2023 models that were coming out. And one of the things that the guys here at the shop really got excited about was the Breakout is back. And Steve with Mobile Bay Harley Davidson here to talk to us about that.
The improvements to the Breakout that were long needed. I got a 5-gallon fuel tank on it, a little bit peppier engine. It's got the 117 in it, where the other Milwaukee 8 versions of the Breakout had the 114 and the 107. It's also got electronic cruise control on them. That's new for this year. A lot of badging on it. Really, really cool bike. So I don't know a whole lot about the paint job.
That's fine.
But it's denim black. Harley doesn't do that. It's not offered on any other Softail.
The mag wheels?
Yep, same mag wheels. Similar mag wheels to what they've used before. It's got a 240 rear tire on it. That hasn't changed.
That's one of the big differences in this than all the other Softails is this fat rear end, right?
Yep, I mean, other than the Fat Boy has the big 240 on the rear too, but the Fat Boy also has a fatter front tire. The Breakouts is a 21-inch, kind of narrow, not as fat as the Fat Boy. Gives it a really mean pro street chopper look.
And so does this headlight. That's a pretty sick looking headlight.
Yep. That headlight is exclusive to the Breakout. That is the only model that'll have that headlight. The shock adjuster. Love this about this bike. Love that Harley puts this on the Softails. And really, really easy thing. If you're riding down the road and you notice your suspension's not what you want it to be, or your ride's not soft enough, pull over, click, click, click. You don't even have to get out of the saddle.
And one of the things about Breakouts is that if you don't like chrome, you probably don't want a Breakout.
Nah. Breakouts are supposed to have chrome.
And that's a lot of pretty chrome on that thing.
Yep.
Our Back on Two stories are brought to you by Biker Justice USA and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
All right, Earl Arnett, local hog chapter here in Binghamton, New York. Live in Greene, New York, about a half hour north of here. Accident scene management, everybody ought to go through that. Something happens on the ride, you're organized where you can take charge, knowing what you can and can't do with an accident victim, blocking traffic, somebody making the calls for emergencies and things like that. All the stuff, first aid, CPR, it's all part of it. It's a real good course. Well, they told us ahead of time when we get to CPR, but we didn't know all the intricacies about what to do once the accident happens. A lot of times there's confusion, how to treat the victims, that type of thing, how not to take their helmet off, unless you have to, not moving their neck, body parts, things like that, mainly comforting them. I started out with the introduction for the class. And he told us what we'd be going through that day. Later on, like I say, broke out the dummies so we could do the CPR with breasts, without breasts, those type of things. Full face helmets, how to get those things off if you have to, but only take them off if you need to. Wait till the EMTs get there, that type of thing. If I had to use it, no. I've had to support traffic over broken down bikes, but no accidents so far, thank God. I'd always thought about what to do. I served in the military some, so I had a little bit of idea of what to do. Having somebody's bike specific, type of thing, motorcycle specifically, how to act at an accident scene, blocking traffic, what your responsibilities were, what you wouldn't be liable for, the Good Samaritan Act, things like that, they covered that. That was a biggie also. When to use tourniquets, when not to, things like that. They covered a lot of that type of thing. Whether you're driving or riding, you need this. This class is good for anybody, any age. It just gives you an idea of what to do at any accident scene, where it's 2-wheel, 4-wheel, 3-wheel, it doesn't matter. Something happens in your house. You know, this is a good class. It covers all those things you need. Now, you get a chance to take it, do it. If you get a chance to sponsor one to get them in, accident scene management class is a great class, no matter what you want it for.
Just back from a really long trip on my 2009 Electric Glide Fat Elvis here, and 4,000 miles on a 14, 15-year-old bike, whatever it is these days. And one of the things I noticed, you can see it right there, a little problem, but really, is it that big of a deal? Well, I suspect I know what's going on with the oil on the side of Fat Elvis, and I also suspect it's not really that big of a deal. So I came here to Mobile Bay Harley Davidson to talk to Master Tech Neil and have him check it out and try to ease my concerns.
You said the keyword, long trip. I'll get some travelers that come in here, guys that have been on the interstate for a long time, especially I-10. Performance air cleaner, every once in a while you want to perform. If you look down here, you see your breather passages. It'll come down through here and it'll get sucked back into the engine if you're still running a stock setup and don't have a catch can or anything. But every once in a while, it starts to pool up, so you want to goose it, suck some of that oil through. I mean, hey, when you're on the interstate a good hour at a time, you're just sitting there holding it. It might pool and drop a little bit. It's more annoying than anything, especially if you have a lot of leather riding gear or leather bags. I mean, it can be a real mess. But nothing to worry about. Like I said, it is annoying. It is very annoying, and I would, before you ruin any more pants or shoes, I'd try to get something like that taken care of. A number of companies out there that make a really nice catch can. It even has one from, say, his is Fuel Moto brand. It will, instead of rerouting it back through your engine, into your intake, it will remotely store it off in a bottle, I guess, like a lot of racers use them. The old, you'd had to have water wetter, you couldn't have coolant in your system. Just catch can, make sure the track stays nice and clean. Some guys have wired up bottles or booze bottles and things. Those are kind of hokey, but they get the job done. There are a number of different ones out there, ones that will run into the transmission. It kind of depends on what you want to get done, really. I'm a big fan of the simple one that just runs off to the side and down into a K&N filter. But those seem to work the best.
Biker Dad road trip. All right, we're on our adventure here in East Tennessee. We did the tail of the dragon from East Tennessee over to North Carolina. We also rode through the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and now we're at this thing. It is the world famous Gatlinburg Sky Lift that takes you to the Gatlinburg Sky Bridge. We are 1,800 feet above sea level, and that bridge right there is the longest running pedestrian cable bridge in North America. And it's a little bit sketchy, it feels like, when you walk across it. If you're a little bit afraid of heights like I am, it's kind of actually a little more terrifying than riding the tail of the dragon. On the road in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I ran into some friends from back home in Alabama, and then we ran into this really cool place on top of one of the Smoky Mountains. Gatlinburg is ringed by some of the mountains, just a beautiful view, even more beautiful if you take the sky lift 1,800 feet above the little tourist city. And that's where you find the Gatlinburg Sky Bridge. It's the longest pedestrian cable bridge in North America and one of the most unique experiences in all of the Smoky Mountains. The Sky Bridge is 700 feet across, a deep valley, and a single span that's longer than 2 football fields. We took the little sky lift up there. Basically, it's like a ski lift that takes you to the top of the mountain. We went right at sunset, and it was beautiful. One of the things that happens when you take the sky lift to the Sky Bridge at dusk, you might run into a little bit of wild behavior. Some of us are, me included, a little bit afraid of heights, but we found out the real danger around here may not be the heights, but something else: bears. While we were there, employees were hunting bears, not really hunting them, but trying to shoo them away from the crowd. There was a mama bear and some baby bears in the area, and they've been spotted over and over again. It's one of the dangers that's pointed out clearly all over the park, and one of the reasons the trash cans have to be on lockdown. And you're urged not to leave food or drink or anything like that around, because it can attract the bears. A beautiful spot in East Tennessee. If you ever get to the Smoky Mountains, I highly recommend taking a sky lift up to the Sky Bridge, and you can even check out the Tail of the Dragon nearby. That's it for this week's episode of the Biker Dad TV show, coming to you from Mobile, Alabama. And I want to thank Cycle Gear for letting us ride along for their nationwide effort that's helping kids with cancer. Until next time, please look twice for motorcycles.